Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the Wisconsin Wrestler Podcast. I'm your host, Teek Fenwick, coming to you from Holman. Joining me, as always, from Fort Atkinson is my co-host, Steve Lurkwin. Steve, great to be here.
Hey, pumped to be here. Always a good time to talk some wrestling.
Yes, sir. I know we've done a couple lunchtime episodes recently in terms of recording. Going a little later at night here on Wednesday, but you just kind of make time forever whenever the world champ wants to talk. That's what we're doing tonight, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, this man needs no introduction, but I knew right when we saw his performance last week, I knew we had to have him on. We mentioned him quite a few times on this show. So without further ado, introducing two-time state champion, Triple Crown winner last year, double Pan Am champ this summer, and also his latest accomplishment, a U17 110 kg freestyle world champion, Koy Hopke. Koy, glad to have you on the show, man.
Yeah, glad to be on. You know, it's finally great to get in on an episode.
Also, too, I guess we got to listen. Another thing you won last week, fan bracket and YouTube bracket podium winner Palooza champion. You know,
Big time. Pop that on the resume.
Yeah, I'm honored. That was pretty cool.
We'll send you a bracket. You can hang it on the wall next to the other ones.
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you this. A lot of people are pumped to hear this one. I was, I thought you guys were playing a joke on me. I know we originally had scheduled for 1, and I totally forgot. I spaced that we moved it to 9. I'm literally sitting here today, right here at 1:00. Like, hey guys, I was about ready to text you. What's going on? But anyway, a buddy of mine, I told, I can't chat right now, but I told that we were going to have, you on. And as soon as like 2:00, he's texting me. He's like, how'd it go, man? How'd it go? He's just pumped to hear you. And I said, oh, I made a little mistake. These guys didn't play a joke on me, but yeah. I'm literally sitting here like a kid in the candy shop, like, all right, here we go. And what's going on? Oh yeah. Darn it, we moved it to 9. Hey, Teague, I know we're going to get to some crazy Pan Am and world stuff and all that kind of stuff. Oh, go ahead, Teague. You put your hand up. Like, here.
It's just getting the text from you at 1. I didn't see it until 30 minutes later. How long were you waiting on the Zoom call today?
It was like, it was like 1:03. And then I looked at the Zoom link you sent, and then it said 9 p.m. and it totally hit me. Then I'm like, oh, that's right. We moved it to 9. I totally forgot. So,
well, hey, we're all here now.
Hey, yeah. But here's the question, Koy. I got a big one for you. Even before, this is probably the toughest question you're going to have today, right? We were doing the Podium Palooza, I'm going to say 2 weeks, and your brother was on. Mm-hmm. And I asked him specifically, I said, hey, who wins in a match? And this was between you and your brother. And this was his response. He said, I still got a few tricks up my sleeve. So there's the question, right? You and your brother going at it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's been a long battle. I mean, obviously he's the older brother, so he always gets his in. But with him doing baseball and all that outside of season, I've kind of caught up on him. So I like to say we're even. Maybe I get him sometimes, but he does. It's kind of weird. I mean, wrestling with each other for so long, we pretty much know what the other person's going to do. So it's pretty tough, but we go back and forth. Yeah.
Is there a mat in the Hopke basement?
No, we just try to keep the house clear of any, breakable objects, because a match could break out at any time.
What's the most expensive thing you've ever broke when you guys were scrapping in the house?
We're pretty good. I don't think we broke much. Maybe a little, like a teapot that was just sitting on the counter. But that's about it. Yeah. We're pretty conscious about our surroundings.
That's that's a very respectful answer to your brother. And I got to tell you, no matter how big you get and no matter what you win, he's still your older brother and he's still your big brother. Right. And, but you're right. I don't know what it is. It's like, as you get older, you become a wily veteran. You just kind of learn a certain skill set that helps you.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. I just he's the one person I can't figure out, how to consistently take down or stuff like that. He's always got something.
I guess next question, could you hit one of his fastballs?
Actually, yeah, we were with him being done with high school baseball now, we go out and throw at the field sometimes, us together. And I bat against him a few times. And I just trust it. He tells me what pitch is coming, fastball, curveball, whatever it is. So I just try to time it up as best as I can. I can hit a few, but that's because I know what it is and where it's going. So,
What's his best pitch?
I'd probably have to say a slider.
Nice.
That thing moves pretty well and it's pretty fast. Yeah, he actually has a game tonight. He plays for the Osceola Braves, just like a town ball team, just to prepare for college. But yeah, he's got a game tonight. So
nice. I mean, it's been a busy summer for the Hopke family, to say the least, and we're gonna delve more into that with you. So starting off with your Pan Am experience, I guess first question from me is, did you ever wrestle internationally before this?
Nope, I hadn't. It was just around the country. I did do the Wisconsin RTC. When we dueled the German team, that was the first time wrestling someone from international. So that was that was a little bit of a help, before I went overseas.
Did you notice when you were down there? So you always said you were a double champ there in freestyle and Greco. Did you notice, like, do people from different countries, do they have different styles? Like, is it kind of like an adjustment to get used to?
Yeah, for sure. Pan Am's, it wasn't so prevalent because, the competition there wasn't the best. But when I got to Worlds, obviously, it was totally different. The defense, they weren't scoring a ton, especially in Greco. It was kind of an eye opener to see the good position and the movement that they do, and they're not going 100%, going all over. They're just staying in good position and working you around. So that was pretty eye opening for there.
Did the travel for Pan Am, so just time wise, Argentina you said was 2 hours behind, I believe. Rome, was it like 7 or 8 hours ahead?
Yeah, it was seven, yeah.
Did even just the aspect of traveling down there for the Pan Ams, did that kind of help you with your experience for Worlds? I mean, nothing can really prepare you for jet lag, but did you kind of feel better prepared going into Worlds and traveling to Rome and whatnot after your experience in Argentina?
Yeah, for sure. Especially, just the plane ride, like a long plane ride, kind of, having a trip before, just getting to know. And then I kind of kept a little, like a note sheet of things that, maybe I wasn't feeling so well this day, so I got to do this or whatever. So it was definitely a good trip to prepare. And especially, just going to a different country, it's not really comfortable. So getting kind of used to that when we were in Argentina and just understanding how to adapt to that definitely helped me for the trip.
I guess in Argentina and Rome, did you happen to take any time to sightsee, or is it all business?
Yeah, a little bit. Argentina, we were pretty close to the ocean there, so we went down and looked a little bit. Me and my dad walked around the beaches, so it was pretty fun there. We had a few days off between when we got there, and then between Greco and freestyle, so we got to look around. And then in Rome, after I lost in Greco, we had that day off, and we went sightseeing. We got to see the Colosseum, the Vatican, stuff like that. So that was pretty cool.
Good stuff, man. I was gonna say, so going to Worlds now, starting off in Greco, we got to talk about like the tough matches on this show as well, but you lose in the quarterfinals to, I told your dad this, just an absolute beast of a human being. Just a little math reference for folks, 110 kilograms, that can be up to 242 pounds. I'm guessing you didn't gain 22 pounds in the off season, so you're giving up weight to, I'm guessing, most of these guys in your bracket, and you're not even, the oldest one in your bracket as well. Mm-hmm. I think I saw on Matt Scouts, your last, in-country loss was April 2021, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. I guess for it being your first loss in a while, how did you what'd you do mentally to kind of, recover from that, knowing you had another tournament coming up in a couple days?
I just kind of, Greco was different for me. I got that first win. So I was happy about that. Obviously run into a tough guy, so that kind of sucks. But the loss, it wasn't too bad. I've kind of learned, especially, wrestling for this long, you can kind of take losses, and it helped me definitely, to know that I still have things to work for, and, still have things to push for. But I took it kind of well, just just understanding it happens. It is what it is, and just trying to reset before freestyle comes back around.
Well, it is. I mean, wrestling, it's a very humbling sport. Wrestling is,
Yep.
we've all learned that in one way, shape, or form. I think I was thinking, when I was watching that match, I think I knew once the legs came into play, it was going to be a bit of a different element for you. And just, looking at your first round match here, you win 14-3. Let me move along the bracket. Then in your quarterfinal, you win 11-2. And the semifinal, you had Kurbanov from Uzbekistan win that one 12-2. And I noticed one thing people don't really get to notice in the States is, your gas tank, man, because mostly when you're wrestling folk style during the season, it's a lot of quick pins. I guess what do you do to get like prepared for like those longer matches, given that, for 3 months of the year, you're not wrestling full matches essentially.
Yeah, well, it's definitely what you do in practice, especially the in season. I was training full matches, 2-2-2, going as hard as you can in case you get there and that happens. But just trying to push yourself past those, and if you can get comfortable wrestling a full match, then you'll be fine. Wrestling these shorter ones, but especially for freestyle and Greco down at Pinnacle, and the Go for RTC, we were training 3 minutes, like junior times or stuff like that. So. Doing 2-3s is, way harder than just 2-2s. So if I got used to that and comfortable with that, it was pretty well. And, I could push as hard as I could.
Oh, I loved it, man. You got a chance to show off the gas tank, and I was,
Nice.
I was fully down for it. And I think you really got to show it off, in the finals, going against, I don't have his first name here, but the wrestler from France, who he had a great semifinals match as well. He won 11-9, and it started off right away. Did you kind of have a game plan going into that match? Because it seemed like I heard from the announcers, the guy kind of sneakily scores points. And, that's kind of the way the match started off. I think he got 2 or 3 push out points right away. Yeah. Were you kind of expecting the match to go the way that it did?
A little bit, just watching his other matches before, you could see he came out kind of hard. And some things he did, he shot a high crotch, to one side. So we were kind of game planning for that. We know he was going to come out kind of hard. But I got him down to the mat and I just got pushed out on some of those. So it was kind of frustrating, but we knew it was gonna happen, stuff like that. So pretty much I was just trying to take those, keep it close, try to score some points. And then that second period came around, and that's where I was getting it going. So we kind of game planned for that. Just keep it under control, wear him down, and then come in and score points.
I think that's Steve and I were getting more into the Freco scene, and that's the beauty of freestyle and Greco is, you can be down 3 or 4, and yes. it can be the match is just getting started essentially at that point. And I feel like one of the turning points of the match was, I think he was in on a single leg or something. You had his ankle in a scramble. And I remember the announcers were impressed by this. But you did something. You somehow lifted his whole body when you were just grabbing him by the ankle. And I remember the announcer saying, okay, well, that's Wisconsin country strong right there. I don't know if you remember that exact moment, but I feel like that was almost a turning point. And it seemed like that was when the guy was like, okay, I might be in over my head. That's when your opponent kind of seemed like they were going to lose it a little bit. Did you notice a point in the match? Because I would say with confidence that you broke your opponent in the finals. Did you notice a point where you felt like you really took control in that match?
Yeah, it was kind of there. He got in on a single. I was trying to get it down. He kind of cut me back. And I got to my hip, and it just wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't want to get scored on there. It just wasn't going to be good. So I fought, as hard as I could, got out of that. I think I might have scored there. I don't know. Maybe it was back to our feet, but that was kind of a turning point. And then towards later on, I kind of got in on a double towards the edge. I was reaching up, and he got a head and arm, and I was on my back. So I was like, this is not where I want to be, So I fought pretty hard to get out of that. I wasn't going to end the match there. So as soon as I popped my head out and got on top, he was pretty much done there. He kind of lost fight there. He was, from then on, he was, wasn't pushing, backing up, taking taking not so good shots. So that was probably a turning point for me.
What did Coach Kelly have to say for you at the halfway point of that match?
He just reminded me, watch out for some of those shots, just the stuff we've been game planning for, and just said, this is my period. He's getting more down, and just keep pushing him. He'll eventually break. So he was pretty supportive, and he knew what was going to happen. We had game plans, so we were ready for it.
That was one of my questions. I was wondering who was down in the corner with you. Coach Kelly was there. Who else was in your corner?
I can't remember the name right now. I kind of feel bad. It might have been. I don't think James was in my corner for the finals. I know he was there while I was warming up, but there's a few different coaches that I had. Mike was the first one though.
Nice. He's the one that knows you best, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We brought up Kale before. He I know he made the trip with you to Rome. Did he make the trip with you to Argentina?
He did not. No, it was just me and my dad. Actually, that weekend he had the All-Star Classic for baseball down in, I think it was Boston. So him and my mom went there and played. So that was cool. We got to watch him play there too while we were, we FaceTimed and got to see him pitch there. So that was pretty cool.
Good stuff, man. I think one of the things I loved the most about the tournament in Rome was that you still got to warm up with Kale, and that it had to give you like a little sense of home while you were halfway across the world.
Yeah, it was cool. I appreciate him for doing that. It was cool of him, and especially being that he's out of wrestling now. But it was pretty cool for him to come back, and we practiced together the one day and then warmed up the next. So it was good for him to do that, and it was really cool to just do that one more time.
So Koy, you won World Freestyle. I guess goal wise, you're literally at the top of the world right now. Where do you go from here? What are your next goals in wrestling? Obviously, the one thing I forgot to mention in the intro, Amory, the team state champions the last couple of years as well. So what are your individual and team goals going forward?
For me, just continuing my success during high school. This year I'm just going to try to have fun. It's cool to have a team like we do. I just got to enjoy it. These first 2 years passed pretty quickly. So I'm just going to try to enjoy the last two. But obviously, just focus on continuing my success and staying on top. And then for Freestyle and Greco, coming back, maybe I'll do trials next year, test my success there. But obviously I got to get a little bigger because I think for juniors it might be 125. I don't know.
Oh,
it's a little bigger, yeah. So continuing that, trying to stay on top, but coming back and seeing how I can do. And then team wise, obviously we want to continue our goal. Maybe we can get a third in. We'll see. But that'll be ultimately our goal, just to ride on that. And those kids, they want to be back up there. They were part of that team, and they really enjoyed that. So it's going to be a big push for us to get back, but I think we can do it.
Yeah, losing a lot, but you got a lot returning as well. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, and I'm excited. We had a lot of kids working this off season. We actually tonight. During my break in football practice, I came in and we had some guys wrestling in the room. So that was pretty cool.
Did you wrestle at the break?
I didn't. No, I had to take it off. It was a little hot. I wanted to, but I didn't have my shoes. I don't know.
Teague, I got an idea to make things a little bit more competitive this year for Koy. I just thought of this idea, right? Is that the other team has the option to put two guys out there against you on a mat this year, just to kind of make things a little bit even. But that'd be fun.
At the same time, that'd be worth the price. But
maybe they got to put their, so they put their 220-pounder out there, and then they choose like, the 106-pounder can come out as well, and you got to wrestle them at the same time. That'd be good.
Yeah, as long as I get the points for like both guys, you know, and I win.
Oh, you beat them both? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Ooh, that makes it interesting. Yeah, so he's got a choice. Oop. Yeah.
See, we got to start like a gimmicky folk style promotion.
Oh,
So Koy, I know Flo posted an article with you back at the start of July, I believe it was. You kind of got into the world of recruiting a little bit, and you know, based on the article, needless to say, things have been a little busy for you in that sense to start out.
Mhm.
You know, obviously coming out just someone of your caliber, you're getting a lot of texts and calls. Has that traffic, is it kind of like slowed down since then? Has it picked up? Has it stayed consistent? Where's that at right now?
You know, it's kind of slowed down. A few of the coaches, you know, it's still consistent for them, but that first day was pretty crazy. You know, I
Mhm.
knew just talking to some coaches before, you know, I was going to get some calls, but you know, nothing prepared me for that day really. Early morning, you know, you wake up and there was a ton of text already there. And I had to go in and lift. And actually, I missed a few while I was lifting too. So I was like, that was kind of cool. But came back. Both my parents were home, so that was nice to have them there, and talked through quite a few phone calls that first day. And
Mhm.
then even later on that week, I was still getting a few. And then slowly over time, you know, it's kind of slowed down, but obviously, you know, coaches here and there, they'll text, you know, trying to set up now home visits, now that they can do that. And you know, after Pan Am's and Worlds, I got a few texts from coaches, you know, congratulating. So that was pretty cool.
Mhm.
So it's still pretty consistent, from some different colleges, but it's definitely slowed down since that first crazy day.
Are you I know the craziness has kind of slowed down a little bit, but do you have like things that you like to do to kind of step away from your phone or give yourself a little time just because you're a pretty popular dude, I can imagine, you know, getting a lot of attention from a lot of people. Do you do things to kind of give yourself time away from the world or
hmm Yeah, I like to golf a lot.
mm-hmm.
We
Oh,
we
best
have a
place to
golf
get
course.
away.
Yeah, yeah. We live probably a mile away from it. So me and my brother, and you know, one of my friends, we go out daily almost. You know, we're
wow.
always out there. And so really, that's been my outlet for a while. You know, going out there, just having fun with them, and kind of forget about, you know, expectations, colleges, stuff like that. So that's been nice for me. And it's also been fun, you know, picking up the game of golf. It's pretty humbling as well, you know.
Good,
Yeah,
good to work
it's
on your
pretty
mental
calm.
game through golf.
Yeah, yeah.
It's that's a great test of patience right there, and a test that I
Absolutely.
failed a couple of times along the way. No,
Yeah.
I think that's really important. That's awesome that, you know, it can be easy to get caught up in all the rush, but it's good that you're taking time to yourself and relaxing. I think that's really important, especially being in high school and being an athlete. You got a pretty busy schedule. I think Steve's going to touch on that in a second here. I guess last thing on the college thing, do you have a short list made or anything like that? Are there any colleges that you're thinking about or
You know, I have a few.
mm-hmm.
Obviously, I feel comfortable with more than others. You know, especially the ones I've had contact with mostly. You know, wrestling at the Gopher RTC, I've built relationships with them. Wisconsin, you know, wrestling on that German team, and then even, you know, my coach knows some colleges. He's friends with Angel from Indiana, Coach Ramos from North Carolina. So I have relationships with, you know, a few colleges. You know, more than others, especially, you know, North Dakota with my brother going there. You know, I've talked to them a little bit. So I have strong relationships with a few, but, you know, I'm still keeping my options open, you know, testing those, especially, you know, now with home visits and stuff. I'll get a few of those in and, you know, meet new people. So that'll be fun.
Well, good stuff, man. Well, keep on keeping on with that, and you know, I know the wrestling success will continue with that too. And
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Teague, I'll take, you know, I'll kind of ask this question and Corey, take it wherever direction you want. But obviously, you know, if you talk to a lot of coaches or high schools, they're always like, oh, they want multi-sport athletes, right? Amory's not a huge school. I mean, what, 400 or 500 kids in it type thing, you
Yep.
know, they need kids to participate in all different sports. But you, we talked before you got on, you do football. Right now you're doing football, you do wrestling, you wrestle at a high level. Last year you did baseball. You said you're going to narrow it down to 2 sports this year in football and wrestling, but you wrestle at a high level, right? How do you make that work with other sports to be a multi-sport athlete?
For me, football's up there as well. So wrestling, it's my time off from wrestling. Wrestling's not going to interfere with my football season. So I have to make that time off, and, force myself to take a step back. And, now it's football season and I can, take my mind off of that. And it's really been nice for me to transition between the few. Because, the wrestling season for me now, that I wrestle almost year round, it gets tough, especially with the sport of wrestling is as tough as it is, so football's been good for me to take a step away. And, it really helps balance my life too. I can learn to, keep these sports, especially, in the off season, especially, lifts in the morning, football practice at night. I gotta plan a schedule if I'm gonna meet with colleges or a doctor's appointment, stuff like that. So it's really helped me keep a balanced life. It's been good for me as far as academics too. Creating good study habits, just trying to excel in the classroom so I can stay eligible for, these sports. So I really have fun, playing the different sports, especially, they help each other, football and wrestling go hand in hand, that's why I try to push a lot of, wrestlers to join football or football people to join wrestling, because they help each other and also, staying in shape throughout the year. So, I really push other people, try to do more than one, maybe more than two sports a year because, sports are really important, especially at a high school, a young age. Because, you're going to enjoy that later in life. You don't want to
The camaraderie.
Miss out on those chances. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Friendships.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any, so you were just on a national stage, right? I'm thinking of, I can imagine standing there in the huddle and they're looking over to the left and there's Koy standing there. Is there any different ribbing or razzing, or how are your teammates on the football team treating you, just knowing that last week you were on the national stage? Or is it just they still look at you like, oh, there's Koy, there's the kid that was spit up his milk in kindergarten. They still remember you as that kid, right?
Yeah, well, kind of some of the other kids, freshmen or kids that don't know me, kind of look at me like that. It's cool, but, sometimes it's not always the best. You don't want people looking at you as if you're, better than them or higher than them. So, it's cool to have that. I have people joke around and stuff like that, coaches. So it's fun to have them talk about that. But in the end, it's just me and them on the team. It's them as much as it is me. So it's not like I'm playing a bigger role than them. But it's cool, to have those guys, and they can see, what a world-class athlete looks like. They know, and it's cool for them to have something like that around them. But it's definitely humbled me a little bit. I can keep myself where they are. In the end, we're equals. So it's been cool to have that.
Well, Koy, knowing you and knowing your brother, just you guys are two great young men. It's just like, I can only imagine that you use, if you feel there is a platform or you're going to use it in a leadership role to help other kids grow. And I know, I can only see you doing that. And I'm that's awesome. Your answers and your humbleness here are just, it's good to hear. It's good to hear.
Thank you. And yeah, that's a big thing too. Just I realize kind of the platform I have. I can tell some other kids, maybe they're not doing something right or something like that they feel like they should listen to me, and they can. So that's kind of helped, and it's kind of cool to see that. So I'm trying to use that more now. Have that platform and be able to, use it for good and to help others.
Nailed. Hey, Steve and I always say there's one part of every podcast that's going to stick well. And
there is, Teague. It's always like it hits to a certain spot and we don't know what to say because we're like, wow, that was like mic drop. We should just end it there. So,
Steve, I like the ribbing part of that question because there's no one that can keep anyone grounded like a good set of high school friends, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny. I always joke and I say, no, if you ever get too big for your britches, you got to remember there's always somebody who changed your diaper. There's always, at some point, a middle school boy did something dumb during lunch and laughed so hard, milk came out of their nose. You know, it's like people, your friends grew up knowing that kid, right? So, you know, it's there's a certain humility involved with it.
They're always going to have that piece. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Koy, before we let you off here, I don't know how avid of a listener you are of the show, but Steve likes to drop some trivia on almost every episode. So he did some digging because he knows I know my Koy Hopke high school wrestling. I think he did some digging back to the youth days here.
I got a whole bunch, and but I got a few different avenues. But I did find this, that last year Koy had 11 tackles against Osceola. So nice job. Yeah,
thank you. Yeah,
way to go. That's not the trivia question. I just saw that, but I won't tell you the score of that one. We're just looking to the future, but nice job with it. Well, I did. This isn't a trivia question, but I was thinking, Teague and I have a bet. Teague thinks that he can last longer than 30 seconds against you, Koy, in a wrestling match. So I got $100. I'm just kidding. He didn't really say that. I like to throw Teague out there.
I'm going up to Amory for sectional. We could test it. I mean,
well, Teague, here's my recommendation. As soon as right after you shake hands and the whistle blows, because you're pretty fast, you're a little wily, just start taking off. So start running around and make Koy catch you.
Yeah.
Because that's got to be 15 seconds. And then after that, just grab something and just hold on. And then I think you can make it over 30 seconds. So
I was going to say I just dive in for a leg, but that just leads to a front head cradle. So
yeah, don't do that. Run, man, run.
I have a few months to game plan for this.
Yeah. Prepare a strategy.
Oh, just don't break his neck, Koy. All right. So here's my Teague. The first question is an easy one, right? I think I'm pretty confident you're going to get this. So far, Koy's been in high school for 2 years. In his high school career, there are only 2 wrestlers that have gone the distance with him. Can you name those 2 wrestlers?
2 wrestlers from Wisconsin that have gone.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yes, this is all. We're going back. I know we're going to have Koy on again in 2 years. We're going to talk specifically high school, but right now, this is all Wisconsin. 2 guys in high school wrestling that have gone the distance with him.
Max Ramberg last year.
Yeah, how many times though? That
was 3 times.
Oh, I just gave you the number. I shouldn't tell you how many times it go 3. Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know if there was a duel that year. I know it was a weird year in general, but it was Ramberg and then Gavin Teagles himself, 14-2, I think it was.
Yep.
A Northern Badger.
That was the softball one. That was the lob one. Now Koy, you're gonna have to correct me if I'm wrong in this one because I did some research, but when I'm flipping through a lot of things, I might have got it wrong. So any discipline of wrestling, so it's not just freestyle. Tell me the last Wisconsin guy to beat. Tell me who the last Wisconsin kid is to beat Koy. And Koy, I have an answer, but I might not be right, so you might have to help me on this.
Gosh, I gotta think back too.
You think back, and Teague,
I think I know.
Think you know? Okay, Teague, if you need some hints, I'll definitely give them to you.
So did this happen?
The year was 2018. I'm assuming, Koy, you would have been a 6th grader.
Yeah.
Sixth grader. Okay.
It was May 5th of 2018.
So May 5th, was that like a freestyle state or something? Or
freestyle state, correct. Yep.
Freestyle state. Someone around, was it Amira Sola?
Well, here, I'll give you a hint. He was a state, well, yeah, I guess it could be. He was a state champ this year.
Was it Amira Sola?
Nope. He's a senior. I'm narrowing it down here for you. He's a senior.
He's gonna be a senior.
No, he's graduated now. He's gone.
Oh, I don't know if Vito Massa wrestled back then, but that's the only. I'm trying to think around this weight class. Give me.
No, he's not anywhere. He's not near Koy anymore.
Yeah, I've definitely grown since 6th grade, so it's a tough question. Yeah,
it's a rough one. Think of my goats. Remember the guy that I started picking for winning things, and I've never left. I've kind of just stayed with him. Who's my guy?
Jacob Ward.
Yeah, Jacob Ward.
What?
Yeah.
Is that? Am I right? Am I right, Koy?
Yeah, that's what I had. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So he was. I think Koy was a 6th grader. So that's the last Wisconsin kid to have beaten Koy.
Yeah, I think we went back and forth. I think he beat me in freestyle, and I might have got him in Greco. So at least I avenged it.
That's
but
right.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry to bring up, I went with the positive as far as, but I had to throw in a little bit. Remember, we got to, work on both sides of it. But yeah, that's Jacob Ward, man. Isn't that crazy? So 6th grade, that's the last time. And then here's my last one.
Oh, also good news for you, Steve. Ward will be a senior next year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so you get another year of picking just him.
What? Why did I think he was a senior all along? Holy cow. I should have played football with a helmet on. I tell you that much. Speaking of football, Teague, here's my last one. What is Koy's football number?
He was a fullback.
I mean, this is just totally random. I'm just
My freshman year I had 2, but last year it was my number the whole year.
Fullback number. I don't know why nine is like sticking out to me. Is it in the 40s? Like 41, 40? I don't know. Steve, you did your due diligence here, man.
I did some research. Number, correct me if I'm wrong, Koy, number 28.
Yep.
Oh, I was going to say that was my football number in high school.
Oh,
that's cool.
Good times, man. Good times. So.
Except I was a 4-time regional qualifier in wrestling. So I think the football number is kind of where the commonalities end there.
Well, good stuff.
Oh man, I should have guessed that. That would have been great.
That would have been sweet. That would have, you got a 1 in 100 chance of getting it right, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, good times, bud.
Well, Koy, thank you for hopping on the.
We have you on in 2 years. We'll go a lot more in depth of, like we'll ask you speed round of questions and stuff. We want to strictly stick with international stuff here if we could, but yeah, go ahead, Teague. Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't mean to talk over you there, Steve. But yeah, Koy, thanks for coming on, man. Obviously, we're big fans of you here at the Wisconsin A Wrestler podcast, and to get you on, Steve and I, we always we do coaching and commentating. We like to say we're fans of the sport at the end of the day. So when you agreed to come on, I was a little starstruck, to be honest, at first, but no, thank you for coming on the show, and, good luck to you, whether it be in recruiting, football, wrestling, send you our best wishes for that.
Yeah, thank you. It's been an honor, with Mike on all the time. He's a multiple time guest. It's cool to see those. And I watch every episode. I was hoping, one day this would come. It's been fun. I'm looking forward to the next one.
Looking to hit recurring guest status, man. Well,
absolutely.
Yeah,
Mike's one of our faves too, because we really just have to ask one question and we just let it go from there.
Yeah, Mike's great with that. He's pretty good at entertaining people.
That's a question. Have you ever been over and seen his raccoons?
I have not. No, I just, it's terrible timing. I actually had an ag class, an animals class during this school year, and he brought in his raccoons. So I saw him in school during that time, but I haven't been over. It sucks. I got to get over there.
Put it on. It's got to be a bucket list thing, right? Put it on there.
Yeah.
You guys are, Amory's always had a solid program, but you guys are for sure putting Amory on the map. And once again, thanks for coming on, Koy. In terms of the show, folks, we're starting a thing called Ultimate Team State next week, which keep track of. Coaches, if you're listening, send me an email at thewisconsinwrestler@gmail.com of your career and season records. We're looking to get a record board started as well. So just a lot of fun things coming for the website, coming for the podcast. And till you catch us next time, we will catch you on the flip side.